Over the past year, I covered the trial of James Bowie, a former defense lawyer in Ottawa. He's now in prison for threatening to kill the first woman who accused him of sexual misconduct, among other crimes, all of which he's appealing. In December, Bowie was disbarred after a tribunal found that he sexually harassed the whistleblower and 3 other women. I wanted to know more about the Law Society of Ontario's investigations, so it sent me 1,000 pages of materials. They included the stories of 2 additional women for whom no findings were made. The documents reveal troubling water cooler talk about Bowie, who rose to national prominence 4 years ago and fell from grace months later. They show that the rumors about him had been circulating at the courthouse years before he was first accused, and nobody acted on those rumors, despite one of the harassed women asking lawyers about suing Bowie back in 2018. Her account and most of the others had gone unreported until now. A warning to viewers, this story contains graphic details of sexual harassment and violence and coarse language.
I was so scared and shaken up and sort of in disbelief. I couldn't believe what just happened.
CBC is protecting the women's identities to comply with the publication ban.
We tell ourselves that we're fine. We're not fine. And it took me 20 years to realize how not fine I was.
The Law Society Tribunal's findings that 4 women were sexually harassed are not the same as criminal convictions, and Bowie didn't defend himself before the tribunal or have a lawyer to represent him. The tribunal asked Bowie if it could rely on the 4 women's complaints about him as fact, and after Bowie failed to respond, the hearing went ahead without him. He hasn't responded to CBC's questions, mailed to prison more than a month ago. In early 2022, Bowie gained some national profile during the convoy protest in downtown Ottawa that gridlocked streets near Parliament Hill. His online commentary about arrested protesters appearing in court often put him in the news, including CBC.
So James, usually the law is a serious and solemn thing, but it sounds like this hearing was different. Take us through that.
What a day, Andrew. What a day. What happened today was truly remarkable.
10 months later, one of his clients went public. She alleged that Bowie tried to get her to pay for his legal services with sexual favors, allegations the tribunal has now established as fact. Michael Spratt is the lawyer who helped that client file her complaint and encouraged other women to do the same. He wrote to the Law Society that Bowie had an unsavory reputation, and there had long been rumors about similar behavior. He told it that women were creeped out, articling students felt uncomfortable around him, and if Bowie approached them, young female counsel would say, "I've got to go, I don't want to be here," or extract themselves from the conversation. Ontario lawyers have a duty to tell the Law Society about misconduct by fellow lawyers, though there are exceptions for solicitor-client privilege and first-hand knowledge. So should Spratt or others have come forward before the whistleblower?
It's hard to act on rumors, and so, with the benefit of hindsight, perhaps, but I think that that's a call that maybe couldn't have been made at the time.
When a woman we're calling B heard about Bowie's rising profile, she was shocked.
I looked it up and I'm like, I can't believe this guy is going on TV after what he did to me.
B told the Law Society and CBC that she'd gone to Bowie for help with driving charges in 2018. One afternoon, after discussing her case, she says Bowie insisted on walking her home. Once there, B says he offered her cocaine, told her he'd gotten women addicted to it, and asked if anyone had ever masturbated in front of her. She says she felt trapped and eventually told him she had to leave to meet a friend.
So when I went to unlock the front door and let him out, he said, "So we're not going to do anything?" And I said, "No." He tried to reach his arms around me and walk towards my bed, which was just a few feet from the front door. And I said, "You need to go."
B went to a different lawyer and told him everything. They repeatedly discussed filing a complaint with the Law Society, but it never happened. B says Bruce Engel never mentioned the possibility of helping her with the complaint or doing it on her behalf.
Looking back after telling Bruce what James had done, I'm kind of shocked. If he did, maybe there wouldn't be so many victims.
Spratt thinks B's lawyer should have gone further.
It would have been good if that lawyer did more, right? If they provided more support, if they, took some additional steps. But, everyone reacts to situations differently. And we're stretched really thin.
Engel declined an interview, writing in a statement that he had nothing to add. The two others who the tribunal found were sexually harassed by Bowie met him in 2021. The young women shared social media videos with their friends that night, and they're included in the documents. CBC has blurred the video and altered the audio to protect the women's identities, which are subject to a publication ban. And once again, a warning that this footage contains a graphic account of sexual harassment and coarse language.
This lawyer guy came into our store today. He's the store's lawyer. Asked us if we wanted to do cocaine with him in the bathroom. He literally went in and did a line of cocaine in our bathroom. Then went down to the which is a bar, and invited us over. So when we closed the store, we went over and he bought us each 3 shots. And then he offered, since I have a boyfriend, he offered $250 to suck his dick and me $50 just to watch. Obviously we didn't do it, but the fact that he offered us that is
The tribunal asked Bowie to admit the videos were authentic, and he didn't respond. The documents also include the accounts of 2 separate women who say Bowie harassed and assaulted them before he became a lawyer. Their cases were closed with no findings made because the society had no jurisdiction, but they were included in the file for relevance. One of those women, we're calling her F, told the Law Society and CBC that more than 20 years ago, Bowie drove her to a pool hall and wouldn't let her leave.
And as I was trying to get out of the car, Bowie grabbed my arm and wrenched me back in quite violently. And I tried to get out again, and he yanked me again harder.
F says Bowie repeatedly asked for sex and that she managed to talk him down to oral sex. She says Bowie was, quote, rough, that the arm he grabbed was bruised afterward and her shoulder and throat were sore.
I think instinctually I understood that the only way to get out safely was to comply. Because the more I tried to fight, the rougher he got. Whereas he was less rough if I was going along.
F wants lawyers to have more freedom to approach the Law Society about potential misconduct by colleagues.
Because certainly the way it's being done is not working. Bowie would not have proliferated for so long if it was working.
The Law Society wouldn't say if it investigated anyone connected to the Bowie case about possibly failing their duty to report. It says it can't take action if evidence it gets isn't strong enough and secondhand information may not be. Spratt says he doesn't know if that standard should be lowered, but it's worth thinking about.
There is some room for some debate and some reflection on that. But I think it's one of those things that there would need to be sort of really careful consideration of.
Bowie did not request a judicial review of his disbarment, and the Law Society says the window to do so has passed. He can apply to be relicensed and would have to meet a good character requirement. He becomes eligible to apply for parole in June. Kristy, Nease, CBC News, Ottawa.